Hello dear students, I am starting with chapter 2, that is carbohydrates. The syllabus of carbohydrates is introduction of carbohydrates, introduction and biological significance of carbohydrates, proteoglycans, glycoproteins, glycolipids, lectin carbohydrates, interaction of sugar code, and analysis of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are of great importance as they form major constituent of diet and are widely used in manufacture of articles which we can use as a shelter, as clothes. That means we can say from carbohydrate we get three basic needs of our life, that is food, shelter and clothes. Carbohydrates, these are naturally occurring organic compounds which contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 1:2:1. So in that sense, the general formula of carbohydrate is suggested that it is CxH2OY. And hence, carbohydrates are also called as hydrates of carbon. But sometimes this definition of carbohydrate, that is hydrates of carbon, it is misleading. We can see some examples. Now see, glucose and sucrose. Both are carbohydrates and their general formula is C6H12O6, while sucrose, its molecular formula is C12H22O11. Both are carbohydrates and both these can write down in the form of hydrates of carbon, that is, see here, glucose we can write down C6H2O by 6 and sucrose we can write down C12H2O by 11. So both these, they fit in the definition of hydrates of carbon and both are carbohydrates. As I earlier told you that this definition sometimes it is misleading. See the other examples. Now formaldehyde. We know formaldehyde, it's aldehyde, it's not carbohydrate. Its molecular formula is HCHO, and this molecular formula we can write down in these hydrates of carbon form like CH2O. Another example is acetic acid. Acetic acid is a carboxylic acid, CH3COOH. This formula we can again write down in the form C2H2O by 2 in the form of hydrates of carbon. And the third one is lactic acid, C3H6O3, which can be write down C3H2O by 3. All these three examples, though we can write down in the form of hydrate of carbon, but still they are not hydrocarbons, either they are aldehyde or carboxylic acid. So that's why I told you that this definition, hydrates of carbon, is sometimes misleading. Now see some more examples. Of rhamnose. Rhamnose, it's a carbohydrate but its general formula is, molecular formula is C6H12O5. It should be C6H12O6 if we want to write down in the form of hydrate of carbon, but it is C6H12O5. Another example is rhamnohexose. Again, its formula is C7H14O6, not O7. And the third one is digitoxose. It is C6H12O4. So these three examples, though they are carbohydrates, but their molecular formula we can't write down in the form of hydrates of carbon, but still they are carbohydrate. And the second thing is, as per carbohydrates, it should contain only carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but there are so many carbohydrates which contain nitrogen and sulfur. That means this definition, hydrates of carbon, it is insufficient definition or it's a misleading definition of carbohydrate. So it is essential to know about the new definition.